Alright. Hi guys. It's Ace Attorney time. Specifically Ace Attorney, Chronicles. But, hopefully game isn't too loud. I'm pretty sure audio is just fine, but let me check real quick. Okay, audio seems just fine. Yeah, I don't know anything about Grace Attorney specifically. I have played the rest of the Ace Attorney games, including versus Professor Layton. But let's go. New game. Oh wait, I clicked on the right one, right?
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling.
Yeah, I might
It was
turn
a
up the audio a
period
bit
of great change,
once this cutscene's over.
and some was swept away by the tide.
Uh-oh! Someone's dead!
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Well, there's the pro tag! Naruhodo! Episode 1. Bienvenue à la Carnival. Welcome to the carnival. The adventure of the great departure. 22nd November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature? I don't know how to pronounce that! Defendants, Antechamber 5. Hang on, audio. Is there no way I can make stuff louder? Is there really no audio adjustment? Okay, let me go into audio mix. Let me go to volume mixer. There really isn't any adjustment for volume. That's interesting. It's already at 100% volume. That's so weird. Oh, well, I have my PC volume at 10. That might be why I can't hear anything. Yeah, it was really soft on my end, so that's interesting. Oh no, not back to title. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Ooh. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Yonosuke Naruhodo. Hang on, I am gonna turn it down a bit, now that I think about it. I like the music so far, though. Just the audio. Turn it down to 50, I think that's good. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! Oh! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how to court officer should behave. Right, Yonosuke? Oh! Yes, of course! Sorry! What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Ha 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 ha! There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me! I didn't do it! I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe in you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asugi, my best friend, also in his second year of Yume's university. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Oh. Congratulations, Kazuma! It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last! I know! I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic efforts and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there is some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only if it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Hello, non-professional! Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. Hello, Pocket Knob. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Haha, I recognize your emoji there. I recognize who it is, but I don't remember her name. But it's the lady with the sick ampharos. I'm pretty sure. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Yeah, Jasmine. Asogi, may I have a word? Who is this? Woo! Professor! I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now, Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Barely seen Ace Attorney stuff, only know what the courtroom looks like, and probably one character not including the clown. I forgot there are 3D characters. I don't keep up with the series. Is this a new entry, a newer one, I think? Okay, so actually, I believe this is a remake of a Japan-only exclusive on the 3DS that they just recently localized. So, kind of a remake? It's more like they finally decided to localize it, so they improved on it. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. She's pretty. Ah, this is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Localization, I wish they did that more. Yes, especially considering there's this game that I really want. I think the title's along the line of serial killer detective Jack the Ripper, and it looks so cool, but it hasn't been localized, which is a little saddening. This man is about to bring a whole katana into court. Yeah, I think this takes place in the Meiji era of Japan, so yeah, they do have swords. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of foreign. Wait. Oh no. Wait. Foreignetic? It's for. Help. Oh no. My reading skills are really being put to the test here. I believe it is forensic. Forensic! I did it! I did it! Also, thank you, Pokemon, for clarifying it further. Forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never be granted again. What? Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen to not tell you. He agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? Complicated words be like. Yeah, reading is indeed hard. I failed my AP English and composition, so I know personally. Ooh, that sucks. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant? Oh, it's time. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Ah, it would seem ours. I've never seen that word before. Wait. Our surreptitious? It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Man, these guys suck. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. Man, I gotta finish the Ace Attorney collection on Switch. Finish the first game but stop playing after the first case on the second. Ooh, you should! Ace Attorney is really good. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. (22nd November, 9 o'clock a.m.) Supreme Court of Courtroom 2. Oh, poor Yonosuke! So this is a courtroom? The Supreme Court of God damn it. Judicator? It's judiciary. Judicial. So, judicature? No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the looks of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that have been... The powers be... have demi... Wait. The powers that... Wait, what? Hang on. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now... You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Hi, Winston Payne. Oh my god, the judge isn't an old man! The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ouchie. Ouchie! Ouchie! Winston Payne. Ouchie!
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That is correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defense's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obligated to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? Oh, is this it? This is it! This must be the question! Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? I do. Right? Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for it. Oh! What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? Oh, Ryunosuke. What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything. Just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in the... Shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh! Yes, exactly! Exactly what I wasn't thinking! I'm not confident at all! In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Well,
For a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court.
you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature in Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency! It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job.
Well, you can't be questioning it more than I am.
So, let's start with the very simplest questions. I'm just gonna say real quick. Yes! Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But... wait. Oh... I'm so nervous, I can't even remember that! What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information in this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. How did you say that with your mouth? Anyway, okay. Well, if you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press E for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose! This is a list of evidence you've collected. And try switching to people instead with E. People. Ooh. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press Z to go back. Kazuma Asogi, 32. A second year at the Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. Yujin Mikotoba, 42. A medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. Taketsuchi Aoshi, 51. The lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. And John H. Wilson, 47, the victim of this case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from British Empire. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press E to present. Try it now. Oh, press R.
Yes!
Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Tishaha. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not?
Oh,
Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
but I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Man, not men. There was only one person murdered here. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. What? I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. Oh, if only if I could do that with random people! So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency! How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously, that was, death occurred, postmortem report, death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. That is an important thing to note. Single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound, bullet did not pass through body. Okay. We're on the color of my uniform jacket. Okay, he died of hemorrhage, blood loss. Inosuke, remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, then select present. Do it now!
Yes!
Yes! Well... Oh! This animation's so good! I love it! According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it?
Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be testified on any of this later.
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet's hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, Consul. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. Shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You don't mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Oh, Mr. Butlerman, that was in the...
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival.
Oh!
Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, Oh. It's a regular occurrence. Really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign residents some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants in
Occidental?
Occidental Eatery 3 days ago.
Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from the appraising lawyer bar, please.
Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away cockatoo and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accursed university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor besides the professor, I didn't shoot him!
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty introductions. The court wishes to listen to the witness report of what he saw, you amateur.
But... the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Inosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, you must just quietly listen to the witness.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today.
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did you just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to see Dr. Wilson to say hello, must be when we in that courtroom because his little bandana is blowing so much. Yeah, it's just constantly blowing. He just has the protagonist air. You know like how protagonists just always seem to have wind about them and like their floaty bits just keep floating? It's that. There was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Wait and see. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I'd never have gotten to Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Ahem. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Okay, I know this says entrance. I don't know what this is. Kitchen? Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back.
So, the court has now heard a persist of the case.
Yes. At the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. Can I check the back of it? I can use a magnifying glass. Kitchen entrance, yeah, okay. Hydrate moment? Thank you. Homie is dying? Yeah, he is. Okay, there has to be a reason why I can use a magnifying glass here. I can see there's text on the back. But there definitely has to be a reason why I can use this. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court, but I must warn the defense if you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Sentence? No, Ryunosuke! You don't do that. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual. Of these I'm in pain. Peculiarities? You've said it. Professor Mikodova said it. And so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you going to just abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. Oh! The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Look at him, he's posing. Indeed. Prosecutor Ochi, please continue with proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses.
Very well. Officer, please bring forth the witnesses at once. Two people.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations to the court.
Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Isao Nosa, reporting for duty, sir.
Myself, I find employed as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the Florences of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premise in the 2nd District, Kuryo Korekuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be diners at the other tables that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea out
Of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon. And not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir! This man's as impossible to understand as the other.
But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said.
So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead.
Yes.
Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable?
If I'm honest,
I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir! Standing ready to report, sir! Unsavory memories of a most... Words are hard. Acerbic afternoon.
Witness testimony! What the witnesses saw.
I was instigating a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly weasel.
That's a contradiction!
I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! That wicked university cadet, sir! The cruel and unforgivable enemy. Does he have a baby on his back? Is that the noise? What does he just have a knife? What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day.
But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke?
Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. Why did he do that to begin with, though?
After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting, I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up,
bang!
Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was.
There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses.
Cross-examine?
Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimonies of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt.
Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. Tachimaki Henban boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out an examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to the defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant.
Kazuma is so commanding.
Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses.
Right. This is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke! Don't let them beat you! Oh, that was so weak! Alright then, it's all or nothing. Cross-examination! What the witness saw. Okay, okay. Steak at the restaurant. Oh, I can press. Can I smell that a firearm is discharged? I was reviewing the section with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the Englishman and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. That is incorrect. It was from the front. Wait. Wait. Ghost range. No exit window. Okay, no, it's not the postmortem report. It's the photograph. He was shot from the front. Yeah, he was shot from the front.
Yes!
What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print up my mustache. Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know?
Well, obviously. That, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth.
I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom.
Ah! This is so frustrating! Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. The music is good. Kazuma, what?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there is a clear discrepancy here with the surgeon's statement.
What?
Sergeant Iesa Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this: that the black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir!
Yes!
But no, that just can't be!
And why not, cadet?
Because... Take a closer look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest.
Ah.
Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it?
There is a baby! Well,
What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir!
what?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iesa Nosa,
did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. Ugh, that's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Inconsistency here? Let's go. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there! He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up from the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed! The Hoei-era koban, my prized coin! On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute, in the hopes of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I preferred my Hoei treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not. But I was presented with a little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, there was no more. It simply vanished. The koban vanished? Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei koban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prized coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels, it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchi? Tashaha! Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir! At once, sir! Awaiting signal to testify, sir! That's cute. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir! Name Idol! It would seem those straps are a sign of the surgeons being too strapped to afford an any. Idol. T-Shun. Your father is about to quell the enemy! Watch and learn, my boy!
I love the baby. The true culprit.
Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment of the firearm discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreigner man, he was. That young lad in black, that much I did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed there were only personnel present. That we were the personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out! These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait! That's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all!
Please, enough of these outbursts already.
But there was a woman! There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Counsel?
Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident.
Wait. I just want to check. Okay, steak is eaten here. I just want to mention that.
As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. The photographic print. Carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that no one else saw that woman. The waiter before us said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true! I saw her! I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensible political times. As we all know, the ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Alchi, would have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor.
How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule! Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood?
Rules can be so unbending at times.
Cross-examination. Okay. True culprit. What I saw wasn't the precise moment. It's almost the same thing. He was pointing his gun at the foreign man. He was that young lad in black. That much I did see. Hang on. I wanna see. Furthermore, visual search of the premises at the time confirmed there were only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one else. Dispatched the Englishman over and out. What do you think, Ryunosuke? What's the matter? I can't find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No.
No!
Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. Okay, here's where I press them. What do you mean? You can choose to either press or present against each of the witness statements. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press him on it with Q. With a little luck, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. The important point is, there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witness on it, and press them hard.
Right, got it.
I'll press them like books of tofu. The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant. I'm sure of it. In one way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. It's time to press them, for all they're worth. My fate depends on it. Okay, okay, let me save. Same thing. Yes, point black, that myself I did see.
Yes!
Hi! You must have not. There's someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there!
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm going a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman.
If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. A quiet time between lunch and dinner at any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly. 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency. There is indeed a reason.
There was? Oh!
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Hata Clinic? Yes, there would appear to be a entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident.
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution feels no need to submit this evidence before, as it really had no bearing on this case.
I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Answer or not? Yes.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds?
The
court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up for us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible venues.
I beg your pardon?
We have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It is a most disturbing trend.
Shut up, old man. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Okay. Third court record. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. Okay, let me check court record here. Medical report card. I can't examine it further, which kind of sucks.
You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you'd like, when it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Koretera-san. Wait, Korekuta-san? Korekuta. Wait. Korekuta. I ate here, right? Wait, that translates to I ate here, doesn't it? Wait, I'd have to say the original kanji, but I'm pretty sure that means I ate here. All by himself. Just that. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can... Excellent work, Ryunosuke. You've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press space, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use up, left, down, right. Oh, I can turn it! To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. I did not realize I could do that. Okay, with the arrow keys? That's only for 3D evidence, though. Okay, well, I can't examine it just yet. I have to wait for this. By using WEST. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press space to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Alright, can I? No, I cannot. I need to use up, down, left, right, WASD, and space to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Okay. Oh, okay, they pull it up for me. Find anything out of place? Card for every visit. Name, clinic. It says how to clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Purr. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. What's this stamp? Oh, okay. Okay, let's turn it around. Date. Oh, okay, let's check this first. Dentist! It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-time treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I'd imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why wouldn't you? They make you drink horrible-tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb! You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less. For which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Healthy curiosity! Okay, there's a page sticking out over here. Hello? Page sticking out. There we go. Whoa, what's this? Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used the laughing gas. That's the— Oh! He couldn't have eaten? I don't think he ate there?
because he just had a tooth extraction. So he couldn't have eaten the steak, right? It was the lady that ate the steak. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia, although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you from feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. There we go! I called it! With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes! So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely! There we go! If he just had a tooth extraction, he couldn't have eaten. Dining all by himself, except he couldn't have eaten because of his medical stuff. Oops. President Tsar. There we go. Well, I think, About what are you wittering, lad? You call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out, when you raised your hand straight up like that. So purposefully. You knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. And thanks for the advice. Breathe in, breathe out, go for it! Korekuta-san. This is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement. Aw. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur?
Sorry, what?
You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel.
But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand.
It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered in the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant.
No, it's relevant! But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further.
Just say Ryunosuke!
The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at hand, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could have...
Oh, I didn't get to finish. Oh, he slammed the desk! This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that?
Well, that outburst half petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hada Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Perhaps if I told you that the victim just had a tooth extracted.
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating.
Yo! Just what are you trying to say, cadet?
He had orders not to eat?
So what?
Prime subscription will be available on July 6th. That's a pretty strong thunderstorm out there. I should probably finish this and end soon quickly, but... Hello, Wishmaker. It's all written up here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
What? No, that can't be!
Kurekuta-san!
What, boy? What?
As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all.
No.
Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. He slammed the desk! Let's go! But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. I definitely stumbled over my words there. Damn it. He's popping in before I run into the storm? Good luck. It's pretty bad out there. Let's go, the beginnings of desk slam desk? Yes! Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
Oh, shut up, Ouchie. Your voice is making my ears go ouchie.
What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations! Just look at this photographic evidence!
Well, yeah, cause he wasn't eating. There was someone else ate there.
You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How dare you!
I think it's fair to say the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely! So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh! That means me, doesn't it? Alright. The answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show him what you're made of. Got it! So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been himself, me, the two witnesses, and as yet unknown third party. Yes! He's slamming the desk! Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person!
Yes!
There was, because I saw her! When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Kazuma!
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them, the two witnesses in the stand.
What
What are you talking about? I mix up the voices. We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out what the two of you deliberately lied when... Wait. So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously, you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And, since this is a murder trial, you'll also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in the murder? No!
Oh, the little baby!
Oh, hold it. Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. Orders? Who told you? That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Korikuta-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders. No, hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean... You saw the victim with the lady from overseas?
What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair?
Ooh, just one. Just one simple slip of the tongue. A little baby. Order! Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this.
Oh, then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
Well,
That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you?
you wouldn't. This can't be happening.
Yunosuke. Judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aochi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose? Well, any ideas about who it might be behind this? If you can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before you make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we missed. The card, the butler like freaked out before giving it to us. We need to examine it. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it is proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait! Your Excellency! I had no idea about any of this! I swear to every Shinto god! I knew nothing!
And what does the defense have to say about this? Well, Your Excellency? No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. I want to... Wait, no, not this one. This. Here we go. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. That's not the name that's expected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence if they're wielding it somehow here. So... Okay. It was this guy. That is. Who? Okay. That's why he didn't want to give it to them. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely! It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you saw there. Exactly! And that's not all! Look here in the upper left, where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke. Okay, let's, the Hosonaga guy. Okay, I can prove it. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... this man!
Yes!
Well, surely that would be... Satoru Hosonaga-san! Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter.
What? If he truly were?
Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosanaga's real identity, as proven by this evidence! I meant to click present!
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said, the front? Yes! It's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. I don't think he got that, Naruhodo. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waitress profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The reader is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Hang on, I'm gonna have to drink. This is a lot reading. Alright.
Well...
Hold it. From who? Oh, there he is! Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized there was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So you mean to say you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course! Your salary must be I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capability as a police officer, you would require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. Oh! As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, a gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite of the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? Mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationships with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right! One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the Medical Faculty Research Laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it was prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Desile Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical facility.
What is happening here? Aw, this is good. This is cool.
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the new deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir? You will locate this Desile Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way! Got a little something there, buddy. Court will be adjourned briefly. The prosecution must call the English student. It is Zyle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes! Your Excellency!
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Ah, this is really fun. To be continued! I really wanna finish this. Save your current process? Of course. Trial part 1, trial part 2. Alright, before we continue, I too am going to take a quick break. Not as long as 30 minutes, but I gotta refill my water. Alright, I'm Grak, and I grabbed my water. Let's go. 22nd November. I didn't get to read all that, oops. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight. But before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it. It's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Ha 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 ha! Anyway, it looks like we've exposed our Phantom Lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start! Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along! Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have the time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining hall area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. I assume this is the professor? Yes. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You have exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so, which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you feel that way. Kazuma! Well then. It looks like it all comes down to you, young man. They're staring at me! To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place at that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? I need more water for this. Yes, I did. As you are probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentleman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure that prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need.
Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama.
Defendant Naruhodo? Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside at the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Before those old fossils know what's hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed in me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. The music is really good. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Aw, I love these two. 22nd November, 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. The court hereby resumes the trial of Yunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Auchi, have you managed to subpoena the witness?
Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government.
Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about.
It's highly unlikely that the good relationships we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down in our nation founders?
Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty wasn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke.
What do you mean?
A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan? Or of England?
Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more crucial. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures.
I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror.
You little brats!
Thank you, Consul. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Desile Brett.
Yes! Your Excellency!
Okay, who is this lady? Oh, she is... Wow, okay. She is overly extravagant. Why the swan hat?
Well, what a... I can't.
Of course.
Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions will place without tea. Is that true? No idea.
So, ahem. Could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival. Am I true?
Yes, we know all about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, what are your matters? In England, it's always the ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Yonosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of descriptions are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Why is she speaking in cursive?
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but...
What? Oh, she's speaking in a different language, that's why. Oh, okay. So he has to be there to act as translator. Okay, that makes more sense. That's why she's speaking in cursive. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty. Oh my! What a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people! Don't they? Well, different people can know different languages, but yeah, I guess this is taking in Japan and they wouldn't know English. I'm afraid we don't understand. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. Shut up, ouchie. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks this beautiful lady for taking the scan. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? She says yes. This court could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the bureau. Now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order! Order in the court!
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Oh, she's the one who... Okay, unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. I like her design! Her designs are... I really like her design. A frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. No, I don't think that's true. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. This is a condemning testimony indeed. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all!
Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, your black-hearted blackguard! And look at this snow-white angel! I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe.
You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying! Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took some statements from this young lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Barrett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have a hidden weapon can be shown, this is moot. Moot! There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. That's ridiculous! If only if I were to lift her dress up, I could prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up! There must have been another gun there that day! You're right about that. Which means, this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that is what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency! I'll be back, gotta consume. Enjoy your food, non-professional! Okay, cross-examination. Managed to meet for his son that day. Professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak.
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he had just had a tooth removed at the Hara clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left.
Dear me, what a harrowing experience! To have traveled to a distant land on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I will swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight.
So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right. Other than some carbonated water. No! But he's supposed to only drink water. Wait, okay, no, if that's her steak, then why is carbonated water? But she was the one who drank that. Because he can't have water. Wait for the date. Professor was killed. Yeah, but she was of anesthesia. She's out. Yes, it sounds like for lunch. Dr. Wilson had to have a cute tooth. Removed. They probably used laughing gas. We couldn't feel anything. Slowly spread the advancement in the West. So people talking about this new idea of anesthetic. It's possible to imagine not being able to feel pain though. This questioner note at the end. It says, no food or drink other than water. It says water, not carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted with their lunch with a glass of water each. They each finished a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? I think it's meaningful. Because if this is a photo of exactly when the table was left off, there is no cup on the other side. Meaning, only she drank the water, not him. But what does that mean, though? I wonder. It's very meaningful. Oh, the last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case.
Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing,
The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well sidestepped, counsel.
Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. I really like her design! That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. So from the professor and I had glass of carbonated water. That is not correct because there is only one glass on the table. I'm gonna save before because I might accidentally use the wrong evidence. It should be this, because there's only one glass on the table, meaning only one person had it.
Yes!
There we go!
The way he slowly turned to the camera.
That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Aw.
Well, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself.
Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you?
Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers?
Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence of or an absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. Aw. But there should have been 2 glasses on that table. Or are you going to try and tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Oh. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table.
What?
It was also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Goodness gracious!
Ah! Sorry. There. As I assured to the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
Oh, please.
We must remember that the student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray?
That's absurd.
Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable young and beautiful woman of mischief? What?
No.
This can't be put down to mischief.
I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small, handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England.
So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
He really is going ouchie on my ears and on my throat. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she had removed the class. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? No, I am not! Well, I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. She could have been the one to kill him. She could have... Okay, so the guy also had a coin missing. She could have... She said she was carrying a handbag. I think we should try and inspect the handbag. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance here, it's... the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she had forgot to mention was her handbag. Aw. In which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting...
Inspector Hosonaga! Yes. Did you or did you not see Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag!
No!
I really like her design. And how she's using a mask. Order! Order! Order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bulging incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma?
Ahem. 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 Ahem.
Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. Why does he have that on him? It's see-through? This is a print of the photograph that I thought would be printed to take immediately after the shooting. What's this on his arm? It looks like a bull? What's this mark on his arm? As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see here, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. No, there's a thing in the photo! Thank you for helping to prove that, Noruhodo-san. Ah! Oh, I love him! Kazuma's looking at him like, are you okay? Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. I want to take a look at it. I think you have had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. No, I want to look at this. What is this? I want to know what this is! Am I not allowed to crosshair that? I want to know what this mark is! The court has now been shown considerable evidence, as the photographic print just admitted into the court record appears to have no further significance. I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
No! Just when I thought if I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start! Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it?
Look at the photo! There's a marking on his arm! I need to know what that is!
Tasha! I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weak are meat for the strong eat.
You are wasting your time.
There's no way to defeat true justice.
A fact you can chew up to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph and the detective produced that we can contest. There is! Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
No, there's a thing in the photo! It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find it... Yes! Finally! Let me point out the funny thing in the photo! Why is there a marking on his arm? Wait! Your Excellency! Ryunosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection!
This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems the trial is over, he gives his ruling.
That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then the ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question!
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is a handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question.
There's literally a mark on his arm. I need to know what that is.
There can be no problem with this evidence.
You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
It's not on the handbag! Ha! My thoughts exactly! Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate. But this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only if I could put my finger on it. Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes you do, Judge, and I'm going to save before anything happens. Just in case if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's the mark on his arm. It can't be the fact that there might be a hidden pocket or something. That doesn't seem right. Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at this photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. Right here! You will identify for the court where in this print we see significant detail to which you have alluded to. It's right here. It's right here.
Yes!
Look at this, here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Aha!
Attention!
Dear me, I was pondering what that new riffle you would come out with. A burn, you say? On the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
It looks like a bowl. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Ouchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, shut up, Ouchi.
Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? Yes, I do! To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right.
I am?
If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we have evidence, evidence that is irrefutably links the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then will you allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn, but as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face.
Really?
I have to find some link between that burn and the case. Okay, let me take a look. There has to be a reason I can use. It's not this. There is a burn on the guy, but I don't know. I don't know if. What? What if I go to people here? Or. Someone was missing a coin. Death. Will not pass through body. I don't know what evidence we have though. So this. It looks like a bowl almost. John William sama. I legitimately have no clue. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what the burn really means. So then, the defense will now present as evidence to the court. I don't know what it is! I don't know. Can I examine the pin? Ah, the symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I like the spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although, it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders. A sharp pen for a sharp mind, or something. Personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pin, they won't accept you as a Yume student at university. You may not come in, they say. Of course, you can get a new pin if you could just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still don't know my student number by heart. I always say to myself, I mustn't forget to write it down somewhere. But then I forget not to forget that. I have the badge here, but I don't think it's that. What is the evidence? Wait, I don't know what. I don't know what it could be. Actions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show relative position of everything. Show what we saw there. Oh, yeah, flip. This is kitchen. Always, especially in a hurry. Genuinely do not know. Okay, it's not. I don't think it's this. How do I link her to the crime? Oh! Right here! The plate has the plate has a bull on it. Right here. Right here. There's a
Yes!
There's a bull on the plate. What's this, Council? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say?
To conceive this poor lady any further would really be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. Right here. What's in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Right here.
Yes!
The beefsteak?
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. Oh, that's metal? The plate.
Ah! Your Excellency! Are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival.
Ah!
This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ryunosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. And she was the one who had the steak. And not him. Oh, thank you for the hydrate moment. I really need a drink.
Alright. But even that, if that's the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
sadly, Prosecutor Ochi, the chances of that are rather slim. Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And, although it's not particularly a large burn, it is extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. It's his dying message. Stream is live, stay hydrated. This is Detective N, thank you! I will do my best! This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it! Something isn't right here! As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the surgeon, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchi?
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost didn't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think? Can it really be true? I never dreamt we've arrived at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No. Hadn't noticed the burn, was asleep, was already deceased. I think it was already deceased, but I'm going to save just in case he was asleep. Like, maybe she could have drugged him, and that's why no one heard him. But the burn would have woken him up, so... No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already
Dead? Knowing what we know now, It's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right! That's absolutely right, Your Excellency! This is just another ridiculous point by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Okay, I think I know what's going on here. So she's studying, like chemicals and stuff, right? At a medical, office. The fact that she took the glass from the scene suggests to me that she poisoned him, right? And then, in order to cover it up, she shot him, and she was watching. When Naruhodo picked up the gun that was lying on the floor, she shot the professor to cover up the fact that he had been poisoned.
Objection!
I think that's what it is. No, Prosecutor Ochi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But, Your Excellency!
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. I need to take a drink. What was that smile?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. She knows Japanese! Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level.
Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear our own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Witness testimony. The victim's death.
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. And as far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no possible death besides the gunshot.
If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace,
please, do show me.
But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably won't pick up on it anyway.
Hello?
Oh, hi, Kikin.
Hi.
Hello. My throat is dying.
Your what?
My throat is dying.
It's because you keep changing voices for every character.
I think so, and I've been reading for 2 hours straight.
That's how this game is, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she's good, like, a text-to-speech spot to, like, read everything for you. That'd be funny.
Oof. It would be funny.
Why does the judge look like this?
Because this is, like, old in Japan. Like, really old.
We time travel?
No, this takes place, like, in the past. There is no time traveling.
Oh.
That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it.
Ooh, it's kind of funny.
I hope that this is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tone of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone.
I really like her. I like her design.
I like her too.
Yeah.
Who's that guy on the right though? Like.
Yeah, he's a like the head. He's like a detective, but in this case, he was going undercover as a waiter to investigate some odd occurrences.
Some Stranger Things.
Yep, some Stranger Things. Also, this guy is, I don't like him. His name is also Ouchie, which is accurate because
Ouchie?
because he's making both my ears and my throat go ouchie.
Oh.
Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady.
I hate you.
It seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice?
May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible.
Amen.
Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive their irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now.
Hey, who's this? I really need to. I need to watch gameplay of this game because I am confused.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the main character's best friend. He also apparently there's also apparently just a constant wind in this court because his headband is going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss
Why are they in
much.
student uniforms?
Because they are students.
Oh.
Yeah, they're second years at university.
And they're in a court case.
Yep. I'm sure I don't
Wow.
need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear?
Oh, Samira or Kasumi, whatever her name is, it's got posted in Alchemy stuff.
Ooh.
Like, you know, yeah.
Yes, Your Excellency! I'll have to look at that after stream. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Okay, So yeah, I have no idea when the poor man broke his fist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast, but she...
Yes!
Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
Me too.
as you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right?
Ew.
Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter?
Who is just like, wow, let me get a nice, fresh glass of carbonated water.
I don't know. I
Like,
I
just
assume
have
they
regular
didn't have
water.
I assume they didn't have sodas back then. So like
I mean, I think they would have sodas back then because it's carbonated water.
well yeah, but would it be called soda is the thing.
No, it'd be like carbonated juice or something.
Yeah, it'd be carbonated water, right? It'd be called carbonated
it'd be-
water, but it was actually soda.
No, it'd be carbonated juice. They would call it like carbonated juice.
Probably actually. Exactly as you say, sir. Although whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that.
Damn you.
Like, just gets cursive. Really funny.
Yeah, cause everyone else is speaking in Japanese and she's speaking in English, so her text just becomes cursive.
Oh.
I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of others, the clues, it means bless you. No, it does not! She's cursing you out!
Wait. Yeah, I just realized. So like in an earlier text box, she said O, but like OH, but it was cursive just a different. You know what?
Yeah.
Which is really funny. Like
I think it means the
but in
exact
English.
opposite.
Anyway,
So I've heard the postmortem portion are no other possible causes of death besides the gunshot. That is true. But there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace. Please do show me.
Yes!
Noir looks so different here.
Yeah. You're right. No, that's not Noir. That's her persona. The lady.
Oh yeah, I know.
Without leaving a trace.
if someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga?
As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those deaths. That's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. I'm telling you, he was poisoned! She poisoned him! If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it?
Oh no, perish the thought! Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question? God, can this guy shut up?
I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him either. I want him to just shut the hell up.
On my honor, I, Takatsuchi Alchi, will cut any who dare cast such abstentions.
God, I hate him. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. I swear to God, it was the drink! But of course, this can't, pick up on it anyway. I swear to God. What did you think? Rinosuke? I don't know. I think this could be her work. She can speak Japanese brilliantly, but she doesn't seem to want to say very much. The more she says, the more she's likely to give away. This Englishwoman knows that only too well. She's quite formidable. So Miss Byrne tells us something, I'm sure. We need to use this cross-examination to find out what. Yes, I'm going to press her on everything she said and try to make her blurt something out. What is it, Kazuma? What are you thinking? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing. I think I'm gonna go for it. Oh, oops, that was the wrong key. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed.
Do you think so?
Let me ask you something. Sorry?
Ever since I arrived in this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open! You can't not have noticed, can you?
Huh?
What? What fun! You hadn't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right.
As your friend, you have embarrassed me as well as yourself, Rinosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing?
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can!
Yes!
Well, I can't! Anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna save and just go for it. I think there is a way. I think she poisoned him beforehand. And yes, I will be showing you. It's the water that you hid in your glass.
Yes!
Yes! I was right! Never mind, I was not!
Oh.
Damn it!
They really mislead you with the yes.
yourself together. You look as though your eyes are about to pop out of your head. No! Hang on. Okay, if I just keep pressing.
Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense! The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that is true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact is the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Ouchi is right. Ah!
Yes!
Yeah, I did already. That's right. Sanaga. We need evidence.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found in a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. The Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, but oh! Wait! That guy just noticed something!
It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand?
Haha! A killer blow! The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful! Amazing. He's actually admitting our police might be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. Hosonaga noticed something! What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly! No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information! Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett on the last statement again. Okay, skip all the way to the last one. Press on this.
Yes!
Okay, what do you hear that?
Wait.
There. Yes, there it is again! The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. God, I really like Kazuma's theme. It's so pretty.
It is.
Also, Kazuma just is a good character in general.
I like his advance.
Yeah. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker?
Oh boy, tutorial.
Yo, tutorial! At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. OMG, just like in Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton.
Oh my god.
But by moving the marker left and right with AD, you can turn your attention to the other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move that marker across with AD and focus on the detective, then pursue him with space and see what's on his mind. Here we go!
Wait.
I'm literally hitting D. There we go. Excuse me. What the? What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking of something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Oh, yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. Maintenance is over? That's good. I'll check that out after stream.
I should log in actually.
The lady is right.
Wait,
Our country's police...
comes out today.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow.
Interesting.
Yeah, the lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene theft. I'm not ashamed of what I have done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Oh! Is that? It is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept this glass bottle of water as evidence. Carbonated water has been added! The victim's table.
Ooh, if you can hear my cat, sorry.
Ooh, it's okay. Can I examine? Yes, I can. Is there any way I can, like... The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. They go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. Is there anything else I can... Like, the bottom of the bottle? Can I inspect the water? This carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle. Although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much. I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip. No, don't! No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that! For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one.
Oh, what does that mean?
I wonder, could there be anything in the water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Yes, that's what I've been saying. He could have been poisoned.
I think they're gay.
You're right. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. She didn't drink from it. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Okay, unfortunately I have no idea. Set toast. Please do show me. Oh, I did not mean to press.
I would be so bad at Phoenix Wright games. I mean, Ace Attorney games. Oops.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
I think that's the wrong series there. Okay, I have the evidence. I have the evidence. Excellent work, Ryunosuke.
What's my cat yelling?
So true. Chris, to be honest, you keep surprising me at every turn. Sorry? Oh, never mind. So we know that Dr. Wilson was killed around the time the suit was brought to his table, and by some means that left no physical trace on his body. If you could just demonstrate how it was done. Well, I do have one idea about that, and I think he was poisoned. Okay, Okay, I'm actually going to end stream here, because, oh my god, this is a lot of reading and my throat is killing me. Like, ow. But, yeah, this game is, I'm having a lot of fun. I already saved. But I'm having a lot of fun with this game. But yeah, that's all I've got for today. If you'd like, come join the Discord server. We have fun here, I swear. If you yeah, if you want to look at my art or other people's art, come look at my Twitter. If go follow Kickin's Twitter too. If you want, come look for past streams, come look at the YouTubes. But that's all I've got for you guys tonight. Have a good night. We'll see you later. Bye bye.